If there's one thing that manages to humble me every single time I attempt to do it, artifact farming has to be that thing. In this series on my channel, I go into different artifact domains to see how many actually good pieces I can get in a week or 2 weeks. So far, the results vary, and that means that it's time to farm the newest artifact sets that came in with Nod Krai. As you can see, this footage is a little bit old. I do not even know how many days have passed since the 16 Onslaught was launched, but it's been quite, a long time. But I had other projects to work on, and I decided to put this video on a back burner. And I kind of did not really feel like editing it as well. But I'm locked in now. I am ready to face this very humbling experience because I don't think that I have ever been humbled this much while farming artifact pieces, except maybe in the Emblem of Severed Fate artifact set, domain, which is quite literally my Vermilion domain, if you get what I'm trying to say. That's a niche reference, but yeah. So obviously I'm farming this artifact set because, Flynn's was about to come out and I already had Lauma on my account, so I needed to absolutely lock in, specifically for Flynn's, because I really wanted him. Lauma was an accident because I was just building pity and I won my 50-50. There will be a Flynn's video coming out soon. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna see, okay? It will depend on when he starts doing a lot of damage. so that's going to probably take a little bit of time. As for all of the changes that came in with Nod Krai, like the cost of the condensed resin being increased to 60 from 40, I honestly, during making this video, I realized how much it actually makes me want to rip my hair out. I feel like a crazy person when I think about it. I honestly feel like a crazy person when I think about it because the amount of resin that can replenish, I do want to say daily, but it kind of is not daily because it's like 26 hours. So that's a little weird. It's just simply too fucking small. It's just simply too small, and it annoys me so much. Like, I've seen people saying, oh, it should be 240. No, the fuck, it should not be 240. It should be 300. Hello, what are we talking about? Why do we want to settle for the bare minimum? Okay, why do we want to settle for the bare minimum when it comes to, resin and farming stuff with resin? Is it a more efficient way of farming? Absolutely, yes it is. Is it annoying as fuck? Yes, it also is annoying. Because, I log into the game, I create 3 condensed resin, and I basically just log out. The next day I log in, I condense 2 more resin, and then I have resin left over, and it's just, that's the way that I play the game, okay? I used to condense, the 5 resin. Well, you know what I'm saying. I used to condense 5 resin, and then I would log off, log in the next day, do farming, a lot of farming, and I would do it again. And now that process has been disturbed, and I genuinely do not like it. And I feel like with certain, Genshin features, they're not very thought through when they are put into the game. One of those features is exactly that. How can you increase the price of the condensed resin and not increase the resin in the same patch? It cannot be that hard to execute, by the way. That's one. 2, another feature that wasn't very thought through was the feature when you can craft artifacts with the sanctifying elixirs. When the feature came out, wasn't it that you did not have 2 guaranteed rolls at first? That's crazy. But I can't really, remember if that was actually the case, so I might be wrong there. You know, a lot of features that are not thought through. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? It's just, wouldn't it be more efficient to take care of everything like one patch and then have less to do the next one? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not a game dev, so can I talk about this? Of course I can. That's why I have a voice. But honestly, I do think that some features are not very thought through. You know, the feature that shows the 4th substat is definitely useful because, you know, I can manage my resources a little bit better. We're still lacking in the resource area. You know, I keep running out of certain materials, especially artifact level up materials, if we want to go there. We've been fine on Mora recently. As for XP books, a little bit less, you know, with building all of these characters. It's a little hard. As for this artifact domain, my luck in it wasn't like terrible. I did get some pretty good feathers on the set that would go for Lauma or for Aino, but I was mostly focusing my attention to the set that Flynn's would have on him, and my luck over there was way worse than on the other set. And you know how some people say that when you have a pulling luck on banners, that means that you don't have artifact luck, and you know, the other way around as well. Well, I don't have any luck anymore, actually, because I lost my 50-50 on Flynn's banner. Don't worry, I got him. Don't worry, I got him in the end because I was absolutely locked in. There would be genuinely no way that I would not get him. But after, you know, losing my 50-50 to Chi-Chi, by the way, and getting C2 Chi-Chi, my artifact luck has not improved that much. So where am I lucky now? Where am I lucky now? I've been trying to get his weapon, by the way. I've been trying to get his weapon. I lost the 50-50 on that too, by the way. And the fate points, obviously, because why would they? They don't go over to the next weapon banner. So it's like, you know, wishes wasted, basically. I still have some time to get it though, so I am gonna try. But instead of focusing on all of the negatives, let's focus on something a little bit more positive, which is this artifact rolling session. Now, this time it's not gonna go the same way as it usually does. If you've watched my previous videos, then you know that I always start with showing off the artifacts first and then I go into rolling them. This time it's a little bit different. We are gonna go into rolling the artifacts first because I was a little impatient after getting Flynn's and I wanted to get some, you know, pieces for him. So that's exactly why I'm trying to level up these pieces. Now, the first piece rolled pretty nicely. It was nothing really shocking. As for this piece, I literally wanted to risk it. I wanted to risk it and see how many crit rolls I would be able to get. As you can see, not that many, unfortunately. I was not that lucky. Then I decided to switch on to the other set and level up the Sands because it had a lot of potential for a character like Farina or somebody else that scaled off of HP. And I do have to say, it became my new Farina piece. It became my Farina's new Sands because I had a 5-piece artifact set on her instead of a 4-piece, so I was able to get rid of, you know, one of the pieces. But I will talk about that a little bit more the next time that I make a perfecting my Genshin account video, okay? As you can see, the artifact rolling session was both successful and unsuccessful. Definitely with the 3 death rolls, that was definitely very unsuccessful, but I was hoping that the artifacts from, you know, the other set would be a little bit more lucky, and they definitely were more lucky. And remember, in this series, we are not, you know, striving for perfection, although perfection would definitely be very nice to get. But you know, getting a decent piece is a little more realistic than getting a perfect piece. So obviously we are going to focus a little bit more on the decent pieces, because that's, you know, we got more of those than the perfect ones. I don't think that I ever got like a perfect piece on my account, but I cannot say for sure. I would have to look through my artifacts actually. But as you can see, we got quite a lot of artifacts. This footage is sped up like ×2. So overall it's like 3 minutes of me going through these artifacts. I'd say that's a lot. And I did also farm quite a lot of, you know, this artifact domain for these pieces. And I feel like we did not level up a lot of pieces that we got, but obviously I am lacking in those materials, unfortunately, and there's not much that I can do about it unless I bought them from the teapot, and I have currently, you know, other stuff to focus on in the teapot, but that does not matter now. I did a little bit of farming off camera as well. You know, I got some other pieces, I was farming some more artifacts, and as you can see, I did get pretty decent pieces off camera as well. Not a lot of them are actually leveled up, but if I ever get any, you know, level up materials for these, I will definitely be leveling them up. One piece specifically caught my attention, and it was the attack sands. I decided that maybe one of the characters, you know, the upcoming characters might use this set and might actually value those subsets that we got on it. So I decided to take the chance, and even if it was not a good piece for any of the upcoming Nod Krai characters, if any character needs an off-piece attack sands, then I'll just give it to them. And obviously near the end I started lacking in some of the, you know, artifact level up materials, so I had to, you know, destroy some pieces that I would not use on anybody, and I think this piece turned out pretty well. It's definitely not the best piece on my account, but it is pretty impressive. I do not know who I am going to give it to, but it's definitely a good piece, and maybe it will come in clutch once. I don't know when, but maybe once that will happen. As for this video, I honestly think that when it came to farming this artifact domain, I did get a little bit humbled, especially when it came to farming for Flynn's artifacts. But when it comes to other artifacts, I think that this farming session went pretty well. I did not get as many like really good and insane pieces as I wanted to, but that's just the reality of farming artifacts, unfortunately. I honestly think that I got a little bit humbled in this video, but because at one point there was literally an artifact that had like 30% of death on it, which is honestly crazy. But I honestly think I did a good job, and I honestly hope that you guys think that these artifacts are not totally shit as well. Another thing that I hope for is that you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, you can always leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, see you next time.